Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I welcome you to this episode of the program Islam is Beautiful, and I say Ramadan Kareem to you all. I believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would reward us all abundantly if we do it the way we're supposed to do it. Inshallah. Ameen.
Fortunate is he. Fortunate.
This program is sponsored in memory of Ajia Fauziya Kende Lola Ali. May Allah grant her Al-Jannah Firdaus. Ameen.
His thoughts of Allah and Judgment Day.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. One of the conditions of being a Muslim is to have an authentic and sound creed, and this must be in accordance with the Quran and the Sunnah. Now, we as Muslims must fast, and that's why we are fasting in the month of Ramadan. Today on the program we shall be discussing the topic benefits of fasting just for Allah's sake alone. And to do this chit-chatting with me, I have Sister Khadija.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sister Ghaniya.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And Sister Alima.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I say Ramadan Kareem to every Muslim out there, and inshallah bi qudratullah, as we have started with Bismillah, we shall end it with Alhamdulillah. Ameen. Now Sister Khadija, what do we mean when we say benefits of fasting in the month of Ramadan? First, before we now go on to even say that for the sake of Allah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Fasting in Islam is the fourth pillar of Islam. Amongst the benefits of fasting in Islam is spiritual upliftment. By the time you decide to spend 30 days or 29 days for the sake of Almighty Allah, by then you would have conditioned yourself to certain things, spending a lot of time, more time than you usually do, praying to Almighty Allah, observing your salat at the right time, making extra optional nafilas, observing your tajud as well. By the time you immerse yourself in all this, you would have been spiritually uplifted by the end of the beautiful month of Ramadan.
Yes. For me, I think we experience the hunger, the feeling of being hungry, and because of that, we'll actually be able to reflect on people, the needy ones, those that don't have anything to eat on ordinary ground. So it makes us more compassionate by going through what they go through on normal ground. So that's one of the benefits of fasting in the month of Ramadan.
Fasting for Allah's sake alone. What do we mean? Salina.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And when we say we fast for Allah's sake, we should know firstly that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already commanded us to fast. Like fasting, he made it compulsory for us. And anything Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made compulsory always come with his own benefit and reward. Because he subhanahu wa ta'ala said in one of the verses of the Holy Quran, where he says that you should fast mainly for my sake, as I am the reward for fasting. Meaning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward us abundantly according to our intentions and the way we fast, the sincere intentions of fasting.
That is if it's sincere. Now, how can we determine that sincerely I am doing this for Allah individually? You know within yourself if you're doing it. What are the things you're supposed to know? For instance, I know gaining taqwa is one of them. Can you explain that?
Bismillah. We should know that when we fast, we have so many things that we have to move away from. The most important thing is that we're moving away from the worldly things, our worldly desires. As human beings is all we seek, but just for Islam and for Allah's taqwa, the fear of Allah would always make you want to move away from it. You always want to protect yourself from it because it attracts him. The worldly desires. Prophet Sallallahu already said fasting is a zakat for the body and is also being rewarded
if we do it as we should do it. Now, I know that fasting also draws us close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Can you explain this, Sister Khadija?
Similar by the time you spend your time fasting and praying to Allah, Almighty Allah at the right times, and since He said it in Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2 verse 183, that fasting has been prescribed to us as it was prescribed to those before us, to ward off evil, and also that we may learn self-restraint. By the time you see food on the table and you cannot touch it, you learn and you realize what Allah has done for you. When tomorrow after the fasting is over, you see someone that cannot afford to feed himself or herself, you'll know that what is next, what should I do? Dip your hands in your pocket, or if you have food in the house, go right inside and give. You'll be moved, you'll be touched, and you want to touch so many lives. So those are the essence and benefits of Islam. It makes you do more charity, makes you more compassionate, you appreciate life, and you appreciate people too. And you want to give. It's the month of giving. You should give to those that don't have, the needy amongst us.
I understand also that it helps us acquire patience. Patience is supposed to make you, restrain yourself from doing some things even when you're hurt. So, how can fasting help us acquire patience?
Alhamdulillah, I mean. Now, we know that patience is a very, very virtuous attribute of living thing, of human being. And fasting helps us acquire patience because the law guiding fasting is actually prescribed by Allah. So it means that we are being succumbed to follow an injunction that is above us, no matter how bearable or unbearable they are. So we being actually subjective to Allah's will is a form of patience. We hold Allah in esteem and we think that following his injunction is going to actually benefit us in one way, both in this world and hereafter. And you being able to actually refrain yourself from a lot of things that you do, such as eating, backbiting, lying, and all of that during fasting. Allah.
Some people fast because they think that it will help them get, more, acquire some fitness. Some people fast because they think some other people are watching. Now, if we fast for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it helps us to do good deeds, acquire patience like we have said. Now, how do we determine collectively and individually that you're actually adding value to your life? Because if you're not doing it for Allah's sake, as an individual, in what way can we know within ourselves that I'm actually doing this for myself? What are the things that you will feel within you?
According to the words of Almighty Allah in Surah Al-Baqarah too, it says, when my servants ask you concerning me, tell them I'm close to them. I answer the prayer of the suppliant when he calls to me. And let them too with a will follow my ways. Let them obey me. Let them hear me and heed to my call. You have the feeling that you're getting closer to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that feeling alone gives you satisfaction and fulfillment.
Satisfaction and fulfillment. Now, that satisfaction should help you move on. That means I know you should have started feeling it. That sense of spirituality that, okay, I am doing something for the sake of Allah. If we are actually doing it for the sake of Allah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us. Now, doing good deeds, what are the things that will guide us to know that this person actually needs help or not? Start again.
Alhamdulillah, firstly, I'll try by explaining why we actually do more good deeds in Ramadan. Now, ordinarily, our act of worship are into the compulsory ones and voluntary ones. Then in Ramadan, the voluntary ones have reward as if we are doing the compulsory ones. So they have more reward during Ramadan. So that's why people indulge in more voluntary acts such as the nawafil, the giving hands to the poor, because they hope to get more reward from Allah than they will get in ordinary months of the year. And now you engaging in that because of Allah, actually you will get the reward as Allah has promised, for Allah never fail his promises. And also you actually get used to that habit. There's a way it will be part of you. You like, I've not done something today because you have done it for the last 30 days, and later after Ramadan you start feeling, no, I think I have to do this. Before you know, you get used to the habit of giving to the poor and actually having more compassion in your heart. So by doing that, Ramadan actually will have helped you actually experience the sweetness of Iman, because that's one of the attributes of Ramadan. When you fast properly, by actually keeping what Allah wants us to do, you are doing it correctly and refraining from the other things He asks us to move away from, you feel satisfaction, like my sister said. You feel like a burden in your soul has been lifted, and you feel like
Allah is just whom you are serving. So by doing all of those things, you actually feel you have fasted, and you actually want to cultivate those habits that you have actually gained during Ramadan.
With your explanation, I'm able to get one thing straight, and that is that if you fast indeed for Allah's sake, there is no how you will not be rewarded. Now, if as a young Muslim you have an ailment, now you want to try, and the process of doing it, somehow you get stuck. Maybe during the day something happens to you and you faint or something. Now, what is the ruling regarding that? Would you be advised to continue fasting, or you stop fasting altogether?
Fasting is recommended for those that are physically fit, both health-wise and psychological, for a sane person. So if a person is a Muslim or a Muslim is sick, and the person, due to the love of Allah, and he feels that he can still manage to fast throughout that day, and unfortunately the person during the course of fasting probably faint or was rushed to the hospital, the person should stop the fast and make sure that he or she takes care of his or her health. Then after recovering from the sickness, then you can repay back the fasting.
Alhamdulillah. Again, I know that it gives one a sense of being a Muslim when you know that everyone around you is fasting, and you know, even if you do not want to do this thing, you will still want to do it. Now, well, if the intention at the beginning is just to belong and just do it, and that along the line Allah makes it easy for you and you're able to do it sincerely for the sake of Allah, and what are the prayers one should do in the month of Ramadan more?
One should, during the month of Ramadan, engage in prayer for forgiveness, repentance, a lot of it. And the main prayer that Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we should recite it as many times as possible. We should recite Astaghfirullah as many times as possible. And we should at the same time be sincere with ourselves and in our souls that we are actually asking for forgiveness from the Lord that answers prayers. He wants ease for us. He does not want difficulty for us at all. That's why He has allowed the sick to pay up, that they could fast after Ramadan or make up for the days they've lost. Or you can feed an indigent, as my sister said. And in that way you are making more effort to find favor from Almighty Allah. And there's nothing you give up to Allah, in the name of Allah, that will not come back to you more than 100-fold. And all Allah's promises are true. May Almighty Allah make it very easy for us.
Now, I believe that as Muslims, if anyone benefits us, Allah has made the person benefit us. If people gather together to do you harm, it is because Allah wants that harm to come upon you. May Allah not make any harm come upon us. We are in the month of Ramadan. If we do not have the intention of doing it for the sake of Allah, let us from this minute start having that at the back of our minds, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only reason we are doing this. And may Allah make it easy for us.
On our Read a Book segment today, we will be recommending to you this beautiful book titled Golden Stories of Accepted Prayers, written by Abdul Malik Mujahid. It is a 287-paged book that talks about the need, efficacy, and purpose of prayer in detail. It specifies different types of Quranic prayer and their uses. It illustrates different invocations which are in the real sense request, which comes from the bottom of our hearts to Almighty Allah. We should feel assured that Allah will accept our requests, and we should do so with complete sincerity and devotion. Take this book today and give your mind some thinking. Remember, readers are leaders.
Gifted and Safi, Ramadan Mubarak, Holy Records. Ramadan Mubarak, لكل مسلم، شهر الذي فيها ينزل القرآن. Happy شهر رحمة وريح بذكر يا شهر رمضان بك أرجي لقاء قرب ربي بك روحي وقلبي قد صار رمضان مبارك لكل مسلم شهر الذي فيها ينزل القرآن Happy Ramadan for all Muslims of the Quran descends in this holy man.
Welcome you, O holy man of Ramadan. I welcome you, O holy man of blessings. In you I seek nearness to my Creator. For you my soul and heart has been purified.
رمضان مبارك لكل مسلم شهر الذي فيها ينزل القرآن Happy Ramadan to all Muslims of the Quran descends in this holy month Ramadan, the month of forgiveness
Ramadan, the month of blessing. Ramadan, Ramadan,
oh, the month of peace
Ramadan, the month of love.
رمضان مبارك لكل مسلم شهر الذي فيها ينزل القرآن Happy Ramadan to all Muslims of the Quran descends in this holy month أرحب بك يا شهر الرحمة رمضان مبارك لكل مسلم Fortunate is he.
This program is sponsored in memory of Ajiya Fauziya Kende Lola Hali. May Allah grant her Al-Jannah Firdaus. Amen.
His thoughts of Allah and Judgment Day.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, you're welcome back. Now let's show you the question for the week. You attempt this question and you win a beautiful gift from Islam is Beautiful. Bismillah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Now this is the fact we think you should know for this week. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma innaka afu tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anna. That is the prayer we should say more in this month of Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us. Ameen. My sisters, if you have a situation where a non-Muslim parent is not so comfortable with their revert child who is trying to fast in the month of Ramadan, what advice would you give to that kind of child? Of course, you know that Islam encourages the child must respect and be obedient to the parent. Now, if these parents are making it difficult for this particular person, what advice would you give to the parent and to the child? They are non-Muslims, so it is not their fault that they do not understand.
In a case like this, if it should arise, the best thing for the parents, it's a bit difficult to allow your non-Muslim child to practice Islam, but they should try to have more insight into what the religion is all about. Find out how the child came across the religion of Islam and how he fell in love, or she fell in love with the religion of Islam. As for the child, I would advise the child to go to the Imam in the closest mosque to his parents. Talk to the Imam about his parents' faith. It's always a bit touchy when it comes to religion. We want to leave, no one wants to leave one's conviction. So the child should go to the Imam. The Imam will now find a way to come to his parents and talk to them about the deen.
At least to allow him.
At least to allow him and see the beauty of Islam.
Okay.
So the child must have seen something that drew him to Islam. So the parents should just give the child a chance rather than drive the child away or confuse the child the more. Should allow the child express himself or herself, and the Imam should find a way to come in between, the act as an intermediary, kind of to come between the parents and the child. And inshallah, I believe the matter will be resolved.
And I believe same advice will go for for a spouse who will not allow his wife, and like that, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us. Now, Sister Alima, you're a student, and I believe that you have challenges in the month of Ramadan. What's the advice you would give to your fellow students as to keeping and doing this fast sincerely for the sake of Allah?
Alhamdulillah. As you all know, that there are different challenges one faces as a student. But during the month of Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already warned us against the way we dress as Muslims, because we are like parents. We should cover up because we are like temptation to the opposite sex. And also to the male counterpart, we should lower your gaze, which in fact is the most important thing we should do, because when you lower your gaze, you would save yourself from fitna. And also we should make sure we distance ourselves from vain talk. But you know that you are in the sacred month and you should be holy, so you should distance yourself. It's not as if you shouldn't play with your friends or talk to them, but there should be limitations, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already says that this fasting is going to ask us on the day of Qiyamah. We are not fasting for ourselves, and it's even beneficial to us because we will be rewarded, inshallah. May Allah make it very easy for us.
Now, for the young Muslimah who feels that it is just mandatory to just do this, what would you say, Sister Bania?
Alhamdulillah. I think for my fellow Muslimah, we should actually plan our time very well. Do the things we're supposed to do, such as doing the adhkar, going for lectures and reading the Quran, and helping people out. So by being engaged, they will actually be self-conscious, be more disciplined, and actually get the reward Allah has promised the people that fast for His sake, which is Al-Jannah to Firdaus. Allah make it easy for us.
Amen. Ya Allah. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Fasting brings about self-discipline, and as we know, discipline is one of the phenomenon in life that can give you 100% of whatever it is you set for yourself. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us to fast only for His sake. That is what we must try to attain. Fast for the sake of Allah alone. We hope that we have been able to enlighten you enough on this episode of the program Islam is Beautiful, and we believe that you will join us again next week for another enlightening episode. To my sisters, I say Jazakumullah khairan. May Allah continue to increase you in knowledge, iman, inshallah. And to viewers out there, I pray that for every single deed that you do in this month of Ramadan, Allah would give you the reward in thousands of fold, inshallah. Just do everything for the sake of Allah. Ameen. From my sisters and I here, we say
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Fortunate is he.
This program is sponsored in memory of Ajiya Fauziya Kende Lola Hali. May Allah grant her Al-Jannah Firdaus. Ameen.
His thoughts of Allah and Judgment Day.